Joining us from Washington now to talk about the military situation in Libya is retired Army Major General James Spider Marks. General, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
We saw Alan Pizzi's piece there a second ago. Can the NATO forces in its current form really make the difference it needs to make in Libya, do you think?
Well, the attempt is to really strengthen the isolation of Gaddafi, and that's what we see right now, going from, or at least escalating at this point, to the use of attack aircraft, Apache-like capabilities, which have a great loiter capability and can be very precise and can in fact fight. With airstrikes, you're mostly being very, very precise, yet they're being very episodic. With an attack bird, you can strike. But specifically to the point, at some determining point in the future, there have to be boots on the ground in Libya, if for no other reason than to keep the two sides separated. And until that is recognized or acknowledged, Gaddafi will remain. And even if Gaddafi goes by some means, and it doesn't look like he will choose to leave of his own, but even if he gets killed, there has to be a presence in order to ensure there isn't an extreme amount of score settling.
I want to talk to you about boots on the ground in just a second, but first let's just go back to the Apache attack, helicopter attacks that we're seeing today.
Sure.
What do these new tactics tell you?
Well, they're not really new tactics. It's simply it's a weapon that's been in the arsenal from day one. And the use of this type of aircraft really ups the ante. The airstrikes have from day one degraded Colonel Gaddafi's and his military's ability to conduct command and control. And essentially what that means is technical means of disseminating information and commands to attack certain targets or to achieve certain objectives. As that degrades and goes away, the ability for that military to do anything certainly decreases. And this military that Gaddafi has is not known for its ability to take the initiative and to act on what we would call intent or mission-type orders. They need very specific guidance. So as you degrade that, you degrade their capabilities. The use of Apache-like capabilities further degrades that command and control to the point where they now become very inert and essentially just targets to be eliminated eventually.
General, we spoke with the NATO Secretary General yesterday. He made it very clear, boots on the ground, not in the plans right now. And I know President Obama was quick to point out at the beginning of this conflict, he echoed that same sentiment, that boots on the ground was not on the table. I know you disagreed with President Obama making that statement early on. Do you think that they do need to rethink this position, that boots on the ground is really the only way that they're really going to solve the issues there?
Well, Chris, the way you characterized it is the NATO Sec Gen indicated that there would not be boots on the ground now. And I concur. The conditions are not necessarily right at this point. At some point, there will be a military presence that at least facilitates a transition. And that's the point I'm trying to make. And we should never eliminate a capability up front without a full consideration of what the conditions are. In other words, when our president indicated there would be no boots on the ground, that's a capability that we have now taken off the table. I thought it was premature that he would do that.
All right, General Spider Marks, thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with us this morning. Good to talk with you.
Thanks, Chris.